All right, so today is April 28th, 2023, and I'm just going to do a quick recap on our trading today and maybe some slight discussions of a few things that I not so much discovered but realized. Or is it discovered, realized? Well, we'll see. Uh, One of the things we did today in our Discord group is we decided to share our screens whilst we're trading live, as opposed to just talking to each other. We actually had a session today where all our screens were all open, so you could see pretty much all the traders who participated in the Discord, and you could see their live trades, which was great because it instilled a lot of discipline. Oh, you're probably looking at this chart thinking, this doesn't look like today's chart. No, this is January 27th, which is very similar to the price action of today. I just wanted to get a sense of, how we traded then. I remember when the price action presented itself, I thought this reminds me of something I traded before. I just couldn't remember the days, so I went back to have a look at it. But it's extremely similar. We had a very, we had a bull trend the prior day, and we had this, but this was in the overnight session. And then we now had the wedge one, two, and three, and then a sell off the next day. So if we go forward in time, it's the same thing. Bull trend one, two, three. So I was expecting a sell off. However, we've gone a bit higher. So I think this is the wedge one, two, and three. But we'll look into that later. Whilst we were trading today, I realized that it probably made sense for me to mark up the chart as price was moving. So I essentially started drawing my lines as we were progressing, and I was very happy and I was quite impressed with the fact that my lines were correct this time. Sometimes I draw them and I realize that I'm missing, I'm expecting something to happen, and or it doesn't happen, and I get out. I must admit, this morning I did not do certain things right as I should have, but yeah, it was still a good day. All right, so first of all, put up the trades. Um, so first of all, on the back, this was the trade at the morning. This was the trade in the afternoon. This is very emotional. I did not trade this very well, and I think it's partly because of exhaustion. I started to think about my P&L, and I couldn't follow through with the idea. And I think that is the first problem. I didn't have a clear idea of what I was expecting. So we'll talk about that in a second. All right, so why did I go long here? I actually put it at the bottom. It's the first bar. Yeah, loss of emotional trading here. I decided to skip this day. I didn't do well on this day, which is weird because I had a very strong bull trend. All right, so let's just take this out. All right, so this is, oh no, it's easier if you look at this chart. So if you notice, let's look at this chart instead. Yeah, so we have a 20 MA. What I've done is I've created so many different charts. I have one for the 9 MA, I have one for the 20 MA, I have one for with no MA, and so on and so forth. And when my eyes start to hurt, I go dark, and then sometimes I want to see the color because I can't see the dojis. All right, so back to not this chart. Let's go to this chart. So in over 50 bars, this is the first bull bar that's closed on its high since below the moving average. So this for me is an obvious buy. So as a result of that, I bought pretty early. I actually wanted to buy around here, but I ended up buying here. I think I was just wanted to see it close a bit higher and get close, so I bought over there. Yeah, so that's where I went in. I bought two contracts, MES contracts, and was originally going for 20 points. I think we did get 20 points. But when I was trading this, I thought we might even go higher. But I decided to get out early because of how climatic it started to look. So if you look at it from this perspective, where are we now? If we go to no moving average. So look at this perspective. I just take these off. You have in fact, the lines on the chart. Don't want to see any lines. Okay, so you can imagine this is what's going on. You have like a steady up, right? This if excuse me. All right. This has been a small pullback bull trend. Now the thing is, small pullback bull trends tend to grind up slowly. But the reason why I believe that happens is all because of this. This is the average price, at least a measure of the average price, which is the 20 MA. It's moving up slowly, not too far from the price. So it is gradually going. When it gets too extended, traders stop buying because they feel like the price has gone way too overbought, and they go sideways till they get to a point where they're close to the average price. You can say the 9 MA is a good way. See, they're holding the 9 MA, and as long as this isn't too far from the price, they keep buying off it, right? In a trend, strong trend, really strong trend. Now, look at what's happening here. This is the 9, which is supposed to be like the MA that is so strong, but it's going so far away from it. This is very scary, right? I mean, at this point, I am expecting a deep pullback. I actually mentioned in the group that I was like, guys, I expect a deep pullback very soon. We've gone too far above the moving average, so I got out. Um, and then I was a bit gutted because I saw these 4 bars print, and I thought, well, actually, I should have waited for this bar before I got out, because this bar was the first one that overlapped this previous bar, but I did not wait for that. So that's something to note for the future. I think I got out because I saw this tail above and decided, okay, do you know what, I'm going to get out. So I got out pretty much there because I said to myself, well, you're going for 20 points. You're on like 21 points here, so don't get greedy. We've made some good money. We've held this for, I don't know how long, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 minutes, which is, it's actually a short time, considering the fact that we could have held it. Well, I wouldn't have wanted to hold through this, but anyway, um, we now had a minor reversal. I went short here, which I thought was stupid because I thought I should have just waited for this close, or at least waited to see what happens. So this is a bit of FOMO. I went short again and got out slightly below my average price, which was about here. And the reason why I did that was just because I kind of realized that this could be a bull trap. You have too many bull bars over here. This is a 50% pullback. Chances are we're probably going to break this high. We didn't. It almost looked like it became a trading range. This came down here, and I remember that, oh, this is the first, we haven't even tested this MA here. If we don't touch it here, we're probably going to touch it later in future. And then we got here, and then we started to do this. Oh, another thing is, I'm always looking at this chart just to get a sense of what's going on. So this is a 20,000 tick. As you can see, we have this bull trend, a nice pullback wedge, 1, 2, 3. So we're probably going to come back and test here, which is another reason why I got out, because I thought maybe if we go sideways, maybe 2 legs down back here. And the grind on the 6K initially wasn't so convincing, so I wasn't sure whether we were going to break out, but we did, which I was very, very happy with. When I bought here, didn't like the fact that we had all these tails, but I just thought, even if we come down lower, I'm sure I could buy lower, we could have a lower. I thought this would happen around here. Anyway, so yeah, so back to that. So yeah, I did that, and yeah, decided to go. So I left this. Then I wanted to buy around here. Could not. The 5 minute chart, this bar was getting too big, obviously. I was looking at the 6K for a good bar. This was the best bar, but I had to leave at this point. I had to go pick up my nan for my daughter, so I could not, nanny, sorry, could not take this trade as I would have liked. I should have, because it would have been a nice Walmart trade, as you can see, because it was a nice wedge bottom. I actually marked this there, and I thought, okay, this would have been a really good buy, but didn't buy it. So anyway, got back when prices around was about up here, so I took this long, and then I actually saw this and I thought should buy it. It's a double bottom off the MA, but I didn't really read it at the time because I saw this wedge and I thought, we're just above there. We're probably coming lower. Don't know. It's probably not a great place to buy, but it is a very strong small pullback bull trend. So probably first reversal minor. I think I mark that here. Where was it? Yeah, I marked it minor reversal, and I should have bought this. Definitely bought this. 2 bull bars above the moving average. Can't see the moving average here. But should have bought it, and I didn't because you have a double bottom. I didn't. I waited till we got to the top. Held through this mess, and I realized that we weren't going any higher, so I got out break even. Then decided to sell off. and I didn't really think about it. I should have sold this bar, but I was talking too much to other people and then sold down here. This is why I panicked. I think I said to myself I was done after this trade, but this is just FOMO. So I got out for a small loss. To me, it seemed like a big loss, and started to do dumb things. Went short here, got out here, went short again, and then this went up and it went long. Got out, went long again, got out, and as you can see, it's emotional. I'm not following through on a plan. This was a first leg, second leg. I've seen this price action happen a lot, and I think what I failed to do was to draw the box. And I find this is something I used to do last year, where I would draw boxes on the price action, and I was doing it when I was doing it last year. It really helped me a lot figure out as the price was moving. It helped me figure out how to manage my positions, where to enter and where not to enter. I don't do it now, but I should think about doing it again. It was just very time consuming, but it was very useful looking at the price action through these boxes, because you kind of knew that, okay, fine, this was a trading range, it broke out, you know what to expect next. And so if I drawn this box, I think maybe I would have drawn it down here. um, I would have created it differently, treated this as the top of a range. So when I see this and I see this, I know this is a place to get out. I know this is a double top, a lower high. You could probably go lower to test this, and we did. Pull back 50% and then went down for another measured move, double this range. I wonder if it was the exact, it looks like it was less. Yeah, it was less. It was less. Anyway, so we had a wedge, and I did consider going long here. But I said, no, stop trading. There's no point. And of course, look, it's when you decide not to do it. This is so strongly up. You can see the bulls have won every single bar. You're probably going to get a second leg. There's a breakout. And we did get that. So all in all, it is a broad bull channel. So the thing I did discover, I kind of noticed, was obviously we're staying within the channel. That's why I love this 6K tick chart. You can see that. But I didn't even realize that I could have extended this all the way down to these lows. And then, of course, you think, okay, about the high. You could have done the same with a high all the way up to this high, right? It actually looks better on the 2K if you draw it from here. Now, why here in particular? Well, if you look at the daily chart, which I will pull up, this high, this high here is this high, this high, that high, and of course you can extend that line to that, and that would give you a trend line, which is pretty good. So I've been kind of playing around with different channels from different, like, this is a 20K on a different screen. So you can see, I mean, I normally do it anywhere and it does pretty well. These are the different days separated by the purple lines. But the price has been respecting different channels. I know Al talks about how you should always have these channels and see where the price is testing. I just never draw them, but I think I'm gonna try my best to do so much. I mean, I drew this all this time, but this is, I think, afterwards. I'm gonna try my best to try and extend some of these channels just so I can get a better sense of where support and resistance is. I mean, obviously here it's a bit more challenging, but there are channels in the whole thing. Um, in here, and here, of course, this is an overshoot. In fact, if one were to draw this like this, look at that. Oh, that's interesting. So we have like a break of trend. So that's a trend, a test of the bottom, and then a reversal. So over these two, this, you could have taken this short, testing this low, knowing that we're in this channel. The good thing about these channels is that it helps you um, figure out, like I said, where support and resistance potentially could be, and therefore you could also then take and manage your trades accordingly. So as I said, excuse me. I'm gonna try and get better at drawing these channels. All right, so yeah, so that was my trading today. Um, what I think I could have done over here is, again, this is where those boxes help. Um, Remember, if the market is in a trading range, you can buy and sell at any bar because the price is in a range. And I completely forgot that. Obviously, we have a strong bull channel over here. It would Let's look at the moving average here. So you can see it's getting extended, went sideways, corrected, two-legged correction here, a second leg up. You know it's probably going to test maybe here. There's support here because of all this agreement. So even going short here is okay, but I didn't want to go short, but I did, which was dumb over here. But going long would have been okay because we're now below the moving average, and we've been above the moving average for so long. The follow through down through the moving average is rather poor. So maybe expect some buying, which is what we had. So buying this bar would have made sense. I think what I didn't do well today was not waited for good signal bars before I bought. I mean, obviously I was lucky here, but I could have just waited for this bar. This bar is also a good bar, an okay bar to buy its close. I could have just waited for this bar. As you can see, it's a very strong bar. Just bought that and scalped it for how many points I wanted. This is not a great bar, but you can buy above it, I guess. Um, and then also here, this is a good bar. I could have just waited for that. This for me is too close to the moving average to buy. I would have preferred it if it was down here, but obviously did not happen. Maybe bought this bar as well. This would have been good. Put my stop below here, and just expected it to go higher. More probability, put your stop down here. All right, so yeah. All right, so that's my recap for today. We'll see what happens next week.